When you are first starting a business, it feels like there is so much to learn. Here is how to not get overwhelmed with all of the content available on the internet. Stick around.
You're listening to Free Mama Radio, where we believe you can have both a successful business and show up as the mom you want to be. I'm your host, Lauren Golden, a mom who built a full-time income working part-time hours. Now, I help other moms like you learn how to work from home on your own terms, take control of your schedule, and make more money so you can live a totally awesome, guilt-free life. I am on a mission to make sure that no mother has to choose between family and financial stability. So if you've been wondering, can I really have it all? This podcast will give you the answers.
Welcome back to another episode of Free Mama Radio. I am snuggled into my new office here in the Kansas City area. In case you missed it, it has been a wild ride this fall. Well, hasn't all of 2020 been a little bit of a wild ride, I suppose? But after coming off of a 2-week, 15 days to be exact, Free Mama Live event, literally the next day was Halloween. And then the next day, my family went on a 36-hour vacation, in air quotes, to Galveston Beach in our RV, followed by a 2-day drive to our new home in Stillwell, Kansas. Craziness is all I have to say. And at the time I'm recording this, we also just bought a puppy because I don't know about you, but you know the expression, when it rains, it pours, which obviously has a little bit of a negative connotation. My husband and I operate very similarly to that in our personal life as well, where it's like when there's a little bit of chaos, we just decide to go all in. Like we are like, you know what? Our life is already disrupted. What else would make this interesting? How about a brand new 9-week-old puppy who doesn't sleep through the night and has to be taken outside in winter to go potty in the middle of the night? And so that's what we did. It is just so delightful, though, getting settled, unpacking boxes, being closer to family. And it's amazing how fast we have gotten settled in this house. And I don't know if you guys are intuitive people or like kind of you follow your gut, you feel things. My Myers-Briggs is ENTJ and the N is for intuitive. So I'm a big gut person. It makes me very decisive, but I can't always justify my decisions. I just go off of a feeling. And my husband and I both had just a feeling that this was where we were meant to be and to raise our family and apparently a dog. So coming to you live from my new office, and I just got off of an amazing coaching call with a Free Mama. All of my students in the Free Mama Movement 12-week program get access to a 15-minute coaching call with me as they are going through the course. And this is such an amazing thing that I'm so proud that I get to continue to do because it allows me to get to know all of you. It allows me to get to meet my students, and usually at a time when challenges have started to sneak up, because as I say, there's no challenge-free life, I get the opportunity to work with you live through whatever is showing up for you and help you either push through limiting beliefs or client challenges or prospecting challenges. And it's just always really, really amazing. And today, the amazing woman that I was chatting with had a all too common opportunity for refinement in her schedule and decision-making skills that I wanted to jump in here and share with all of you as well. So as we were talking, I learned that she's been a stay-at-home mom for the last few years. And so as she said, you know, I've been out of the workforce and I'm feeling a little disconnected. I feel like I had to do quite a bit of personal development to even really be ready mentally where I needed to be to start my business. And now that I'm feeling ready and I'm ready for a client and I'm excited about all the things, I keep feeling like there's so much content out there. There's so many challenges and so much information and so many different components that could benefit me as a business owner that the few hours that I have every day when either my kiddos are asleep in the morning or at night or napping during the day, that time is just like evaporating and I'm not actually doing much because I'm just constantly consuming. And the first thing I want to share with you is something that I feel like has become a Laurenism, which is something that I say over and over and over again in the community. And that is that you have to create more than you consume when it comes to content. So that's kind of your general rule of thumb. If you are an Instagram or a Facebook scroller and you are someone who just literally loses track of time, you're like, oh my gosh, what just happened in the last 26 minutes? Like, I haven't actually done anything. And I was supposed to be, making a post or scheduling a post or, engaging in Facebook groups or however you're networking and putting yourself out there. And it just like time slips away, right? That's because you are addicted to consuming other people's content. And the challenge with this is that in and of itself will never grow your business. And I don't just mean scrolling. I mean signing up for people's challenges or live launches. There's so many different marketing terms out there, free trainings, Facebook Lives, Insta stories, however people are putting content out there, even if it's in a really valuable form where you're like, wow, this is really good stuff. The challenge with consuming more than you are producing or creating is that consuming alone will never actually get you results. It might make you feel more prepared. It might add more tools to your toolkit, which is incredibly important. But in and of itself, it is absolutely not going to get you to your goals. You will not get a client from consuming someone else's content. You have to become a creator. You have to get in conversation with people. You have to be, initiating conversations. You have to be engaging in coffee chats or discovery calls or back and forth inside Facebook groups or posting to put yourself out there and creating things that other people will then be drawn towards you to initiate some of those other dialogues. And it's a really easy trap to fall into, especially when we don't have good boundaries on our time, but also boundaries to eliminate these kinds of distractions. And I'm not going to get into my speech about communication, expectations, and boundaries today because I talk about those 3 words all the time because I think that literally every problem you face, both personally and in business, can be solved with better communication, expectations, and boundaries. But I want to share with you the advice that I gave her today. And specifically, she had a coaching call with me yesterday for our Free Mama Squad. Today, she had her one-on-one call with me. And on top of that, this week, she has signed up for a sales training, a 5-day sales training challenge, and then a 5-day scope creep challenge. And both of these are from amazing individuals that I promoted. So I take some responsibility for this. The sales challenge was with Ryan Dowdy, and the scope creep challenge was with Natalie Gittengrich. And both of these wonderful women have been inside the Free Mama community, have been on Free Mama Radio. So go check out my interviews with them if you want to learn more about what they do. But the challenge was, and the advice that I gave this person today was, she was like, my time is spread thin. I signed up for these 2 challenges and they're taking place at the same time. Plus I had, 2 coaching calls with you at the same time. And she's like, it's great because it's the time when my daughter sleeps and takes her nap during the day. But now like my whole day's full. And what I pointed out to her lovingly was that she hadn't actually done anything. All she was doing was consuming. But because that consumption was taking her entire nap time, she wasn't actually producing or creating, meaning she really wasn't shifting her business forward. She might have been adding those tools we talked about. She might have been gaining knowledge, and I love learning. But what I want to challenge you with, and what I told her, is that we can't just learn for the sake of learning. The way that you can become more intentional about how you spend your time and how you decide what you do and do not consume every day is by knowing what problem you're trying to solve. So for this particular gal, what I told her was, your biggest challenge right now is trying to land that first client. So you 100% do not need Natalie's challenge right now. Natalie's challenge was about scope creep, which is basically when you're working with a client and the project kind of starts to balloon out of control and the client isn't necessarily paying you more. How do you navigate that? And is that really important for freelancers to know? Totally. But is that the problem right in front of this person right now? Not at all. She doesn't have her first client. So she doesn't need to know how to solve that problem right now. What she needs to know, and what I advised her, was to finish Ryan's challenge. Ryan's challenge is about sales. And that's essentially what she's trying to do right now. She needs to make that first sale. She needs to land that first client, and she needs the information around that topic. And so I said, that is a productive use of your time. put this other challenge on hold. I said, both of these ladies do these things, more than once a year. So you have the opportunity to get the information later. But what I think we start to tell ourselves is, we need all these things. Like, oh, that's interesting. Oh gosh, I don't want that to happen to me. Oh, I might need to deal with that. And what we're not looking at is that our business is actually a journey and there's an evolution that takes place. And the best way for you to protect your time, be careful about what you consume, and ensure that you have the time and energy to be creating to actually shift that needle forward, take steps forward in your business and start reaching some of your financial goals, being aware of what your problem actually is that you're trying to solve. The one that's right in front of you, the first thing, not the challenge 6 steps from now or 10 steps from now. Or what if when I get 4 clients, I have to get a nanny? Well, okay, we'll talk about babysitting options or co-ops or preschools or whatever when that time comes. But we can't get so caught up in the what ifs of the future that we're not addressing the problem right in front of us, because we're not going to take these monumental leaps in our business where we jump 17 steps in one day. Something that I've been talking about a ton lately is this idea of many, mini wins. Many, many wins. It sounds very hard for me to say for some reason. We are not very good at enunciating, but MANYMINI, many, many wins. And what I want you to hear from me as someone who has a business that started with one freelancing client and over the last 6 years has evolved into a multi-million-dollar company with a team, is that kind of growth does not happen by taking 17 steps. It's many, many wins, and it's knowing how to tackle the problem right in front of you and own it and really figure it out and being able to move forward from there. So I hope that this lesson that I shared with this beautiful free mama earlier today also adds value to your life. I know it is so easy to get distracted. And as we start to head into the holidays, we've got Thanksgiving later this week here in the United States. We've got Christmas and Hanukkah and all of these amazing holidays coming up that fill our winter months, but also provide a lot of excuses and a lot of distractions from what we are trying to achieve. What we really should be talking about, ladies, right now is the fact that on Black Friday, you are going to be bombarded with people wanting your money and your attention. Boundaries. Ask yourself, do I really need this? Does this solve a problem that I am trying to solve? And that is how you can become more intentional, have those healthy boundaries, and ensure that you are leaving the space and resources for you to be able to put yourself out there and do the things that are actually going to help you get where you want to go. So again, I hope that this episode served you. As always, please take a little screenshot on your phone as you're listening, share it in your Instagram stories. Let me know what you thought and if this added value to you, and I will reshare it. Leave a review. And as always, again, head over to freemamaradio.com. You can find any show notes of the things we talk about in these episodes, as well as link to past episodes. So I hope you guys have a beautiful Thanksgiving. Those of you who are celebrating, I want you to know that I am genuinely so incredibly grateful for the value that you add to my life and to this community. And I want you to know that I appreciate you and that the work that you are doing right now is making you better. It's making your family better. And then your family goes out and does better in the community. You add value to your clients' lives with the problems that you solve. And I'm so incredibly proud of you. I'll see you next time.
I hope you enjoyed this episode of Free Mama Radio. Don't forget to check out Free Mama TV right here on YouTube for hundreds of how-to videos and interviews to help you start, grow, and scale a virtual business from home. If you want to join a community of tens of thousands of moms just like you, make sure you join the Free Mama Movement group over on Facebook. And lastly, if you want to learn more about how we can do this together, work to achieve your goals, and make you our next success story, check out my free training at thefreemamamovement.com. I'll see you next time.